Welcome to Macy's Cooking Corner. I'm your host, Steph Ordains, and today we have Teresa Wilson here with us. Hello, how are you?
Good. It's
Fantastic.
a great day.
It is a great day. It's raining a little bit, but it's a great day.
I know, it's a great day for sweets, and that's what we're going to do today.
Yes, I've saved up my appetite.
They're called dulces in Spanish.
Is that?
Dulces. And we're doing
Dulce.
a dulce de leche, which is made from a manjar blanca, which just means kind of white and sweet. But it's really interesting. We're doing susprino de limeña.
Really?
And
what's that? What does that mean? I mean,
it
I speak
means
French, not the Spanish.
sigh of the Lima woman.
The what? The
sigh of a Lehman woman. It's supposed to be sweet and light and delicate as the sigh of a woman.
Oh, I like that.
I know this man's wife made it for him, and he was a poet. His name is Jose Galvez. And when he tasted it, that's what he said. This is the sigh of a Lima woman.
Wow.
Don't we wish all of our husbands said such things about the food that we make for them, right?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
So tonight we're going to try that, and then because you said you love lemons, and I'm going to put limes in there too, we're going to also do what in the States we would call like a key lime pie, but it's a classic pie in South America.
Okay.
And so we've got the limes. We're gonna, that one goes really quickly, super easy, but the other one we're gonna go ahead and spend a little bit of time on. So,
okay. Well, let me just, before you say that, let me just explain to some of our audience why you love cooking some of these Spaniel pies and things like that, because not everyone knows your background. And, you know, I mean, she's a well-experienced Spanish fork lady, and I'd like you to tell our audience, you know, what you're all about, you know.
What I'm all up, no, that would take way too long.
Oh, okay, not everything.
Too many spaces.
This is very true. Not everything.
Right
you know?
now, I'm having
even though you look young, just tell me a little bit of the Spanish side, you know, and the
right
cuisine.
now, I'm having a lot of fun writing for a website called Cusco Eats, and they're based in Cusco, Peru, which is the doorway to Machu Picchu, if anybody's been down there. And it's just kind of fun to explore this cuisine. Not only that, that's just something that has been getting a lot of attention lately, like Mexican food. People around here eat that. This is something else that's getting a lot of attention internationally, is Peruvian food. So we thought we'd bring that flavor to Spanish fork, because we've kind of got the Spanish thing going on.
That's right. It's perfect. I love it.
Not only that, there's some really fun histories that tie Peru to Utah with mining, where people that developed the mining industry went to Peru, and then there was this pipeline of workers that ended up down there. So there's a lot of trade between Utah and Peru, which I didn't know until I started doing a little research. So we're going to start today with our dulce de leche,
which is here in Spanish fork, carnation milk.
Sweet milk. And this is the same thing you would find in Peru. It may have different labels, but it's still going to be a evaporated milk and a condensed milk. Condensed milk tends to be the one with the sugar in it. So this will have it'll be milk that they've put equal parts milk and sugar in, and then just condensed it down till it's very thick.
Concentrated.
We'll open that up and look at it. My friend who hikes, when he goes mountain climbing, this is what he takes. He says it has the most calories recovering per ounce, because he doesn't want to carry a whole lot of stuff up the mountain. So and so he'll get to the top and he'll eat this, and this will help him recover. A lot of people that work out know that if they have, I know, right? Know that if they have like a chocolate milk after they work out, it helps them. So we're going to start with that one.
Wow, look at that. And then evaporated milk is what then?
It is just the milk without the sugar. So this is very interesting as far as why we have this. In Peru, this was something bought by the Spanish, and this was known as the stuff of royalty. Royalty had the sweet milks. But if you trace it back even further, it was made with a chicken breast mashed up into it, and it was what was given to people who were very sick. So sweet milk with chicken breast in it. Times change.
It certainly does. Well, I suppose if it was sweet, it would have been okay.
I don't know. Sweet, it would just be, it's like I say, everybody eats different things. Now we eat Jell-O, and they think that's
gross. Yeah.
Yeah, I
indeed.
know. It's kind of funny.
Each to their own, I say. Right?
All right, so we'll go ahead and add that, and then we're going to start that cooking now.
Okay.
We don't want this to be on a very high flame. We want this to...
Oh, turn it just a little bit.
Yeah, so we'll turn it back down. We want this just to simmer, and it's going to take quite a while. So I actually prepared this ahead of time, but I want you to see the color it's going to turn. So as we talk and do the other, our other dish, we will come back and look at this as it simmers down, and then we'll add the eggs, and we'll talk about tempering the eggs. So that's going to go ahead and get this one started. I also am going to talk to you about how to do meringues, and meringue is fun, but a lot of times it's kind of just airy and it collapses in your mouth. So we're going to make one that will hold its shape for 4 days. I know, I put it in my fridge.
No way.
And it did not separate, and it did not go flat. And that's pretty good for a meringue. So
That
we're going
is.
to do that. That's how it used to be done. And my father taught me to do that. So we're
And it
gonna-
melts in your mouth when you take. Oh, I love
so good. It's
lemon
the
meringue.
sigh of the Lima woman.
That's a good
You're
one.
going to say that. Oh, this
That's
is a sigh.
sigh.
So we're going to, now we're going to go ahead and grab, just let me grab a couple of things really quick. Maybe we'll want to take a break and then go to our next piece of the show.
Welcome back to Macy's Cooking Corner. We have the lovely Teresa Wilson, and we have so far, we're making something, what is it, dulce leche or leche dulce? Can you
Dulce
explain?
de leche.
Dulce
But
de
we're
leche.
making suspiro de lemeña.
Ah, which means...
is the sigh of the Lima woman.
Oh, that's right.
So
That's
we could
sigh.
do it as suspiro de mujer, you know, so sigh of a woman.
Oh, that's
So,
something
but
beautiful.
now we're going to do something different. Now, in Spanish, I have not found a word for pie.
Okay.
They have pastels. They have different things that they call desserts, but pie, I went and looked it up today, and it's pied. Well, pied is foot, so we're making lemon
Yeah,
foot
in French
today.
is pied as well.
I
Okay.
just thought that was kind of foot clásico de limeña. So in South America, this is a limón, which is they don't have the yellow lemons. So we're going to make ours.
They are unusually. So did you get this at Macy's?
I did.
You can get this at Macy's too, but usually
I
all
think I got most
American
everything.
or wherever, they're usually smaller, aren't they? The
You
lime
can get
here.
the ones from the West Indies. They're what we call the key limes, the small ones
Yeah.
that have a wonderful flavor.
That's right.
These ones are a Persian lime, which means they're bigger,
Okay.
but they have a different. They're sharper. They don't have the sweetness of a West Indies one. So we're going to start by making our crust, and we
lovely.
just decided to grab some Nilla wafers, which, according to what I have found, is what they're using right now. So we're going to stick those in there, and we're just going to crush this up, and we'll probably not make you watch that because it's going to be very loud.
Now, if you don't have this kind of beautiful blender, you can use a normal one to crush these, can't you? I bet you could crush
Dr.
this
Knowlton
with
told me I should use a mortar and pestle, that it would
There
taste
you
better.
go.
And I'm like, it's not
really?
going to taste any different. He insists that it tastes better with a mortar and pestle. I just think he gets that anger out.
That's right.
So if you really are feeling like beating your children or something, go ahead and do that instead of
By
this.
hand. Absolutely. But today we're going to do this.
All right, are we ready? Ready, set, go. We're going to...
Check it out.
It wants to finish its cycle before it lets us play with it again. Okay, so now we have a nice crust. We
Which
can
only
use
took
that.
about a minute, less than that, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're good. We'll set that to the side as well. Then we have our We're going to mix our butter
So you
in
do
there.
everything in there?
Yeah, we're going to pretty much mix everything, and we're going to start with the other stuff in here. So I'm just going to use my fingers. We're going to mix that up. Besides that, it's kind of fun to play with. It feels like sand. Oh, look, I get to play in the sand.
Get your kids to do it, right?
Yeah, they'll lick their fingers, but yeah,
I know.
it'll be awesome.
I can see my son doing that. They love these wafer things.
And then you'll get this. Once you get everything covered, and you want to get the butters all the way through there. And you can use a little bit less than a half a cup. Or I used 1 stick there.
What, for the butter here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, you can see that that's pretty well covered.
And
And then we're going to go ahead and smash it up here on the sides. This is a cheap and easy pie crust. I really wanted to make another one, but in the interest of time, we're not doing pie crust tonight.
Right. So you can make your own pie crust from scratch.
You
if
can
wanted
do
to.
that if you want to make a flour pie crust.
Okay.
Hey, we made this from scratch, right?
Of course. Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Kind of like, hey, look, I just bought the cookies and put them in the blender. That's making it from scratch. It's funny to me when I go to school, and it's funny to me how many of our young women don't spend a lot of time cooking. They buy a lot of things at the store, and
Our lives are all rushed, aren't they?
Well,
Sadly to say, it is.
They're rushed, but sometimes it's also funny, the things that we spend our money on. Like, my grandmother went with me one time to the store, and she picked up the box, and she says, pie crust mix?
Yeah.
And she goes, that's just flour and lard. Why would you buy a mix? And so, you know, sometimes we spend our money on funny things.
It's like my sister. I've been in America for quite a while, and it was only a couple of years ago I learnt about, what's that thing called? The box helpers.
Hamburger helper or
Hamburger. I said, what is hamburger helpers? It helps you do what? And she was explaining the whole thing to me. I didn't know what that was either. So
I'm going to grab a rag and
wipe
off
now
my hands.
Do I present the eggs?
Yes, you want to bring the eggs.
Now there's a lot of
over here.
eggs in here, and I don't believe that we're going to use all of them because that's high in cholesterol if we are, and I'll take a teaspoon of whatever we're making. But
and we're going to grab this over here. Well,
so these from your garden. Hey,
they're
you
not.
have chickens, don't you?
I do have chickens.
I think she bought them from Macy's, though. You know? I did. I saw your chickens on the street, actually. I think they went for a walk today, and I was like,
they're just out walking in the rain today.
That's right.
So what we're going to start with is separating our eggs, and so I kind of want something to separate them into while I'm looking around here.
I think this would
but you
be
know
a
what we're going to
perfect
do?
utensil,
Since this is a clean rag, we're just going to wipe that out, and we're going to separate it into there.
I think it's great. I think you love separating.
I do. You know, there's so many different ways to do it.
Isn't that the Julia Child's way? You're going to show us that way?
Which way does she use?
She just knocks it a little bit, and then she just kind of play with it.
Yeah, that one's the one that I do. Now you have to be very careful not to get
any yolk in there.
Any yolk
This
in
is
there.
part of the meringue now.
Now that'll be part of the meringue.
This is the meringue. Can't have any yolk in there.
Now they say if you're not very good at this, because these are sharp edges, that the best thing to do is get it all over your fingers. Just pour them through your fingers.
That's it.
That's a cheap and easy way to do it. I'm getting my fingers wet enough. I'm not going to actually show you that one. And this is going to take 4 eggs.
4 eggs?
Yeah, just 4
Fabulous.
for this.
Yes, I thought we were going to use the whole lot, which would have been.
We're going to use a bunch of them, but we're not going to use all of them.
Oh, okay.
We're not going to use all of them in one thing. We have several things that we're going to use. And there's 4. So, yes, I noticed that the eggs.
Oh!
See now, this is something I learned. Okay, look at that. We got it out. If you drop something in there that you don't want, either the shell or the egg yolk, chase it with the egg shell. And it'll just don't try and get a spoon because it'll run away from the spoon. But if you use your eggshell,
it'll come to it.
It'll come to it.
Fantastic.
And yeah, that just sounds kind of like folk tales, but it actually works.
Okay.
So and you can see now if I have any yolk in here, it won't beat up beautifully. So we hope we got all of the oil out of there.
I know.
And we'll put that one aside. And now we're going to add.
We're finished with the eggs for now, right?
We're finished with the eggs for a moment.
Right. So more milk.
We're going to add this, more of this lovely condensed milk. Oh my goodness. I have been practicing on making some of these for my classes because I wanted to I've never actually gone to a place where they sold this. And so I only can read online and then try it, and then try it out on people that are Peruvian and say, does that taste right? Does that taste right? It was just kind of funny. And so far,
it's been good.
It's been good. They said, that's just what you're going to do.
I think anything sweet people love,
though,
don't you think? I love.
Yeah, I think we're kind of funny.
Honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really.
Dr. David and I were having that discussion today. He says, guys like not sweets. And I've said, nah, I don't think so. He says, it's only because women are hormonal, they like sweets. I'll argue.
No.
Okay, we're going to grab a fork from back here.
Okay.
Because we can.
Okay,
And stir that up. And that
wow, that looks thick.
Is nice and thick. Now, what we need to do is juice our lemons. And we can do it right here with just a little bit. We're going to use this. Okay.
Are you doing lemons?
No, let's go ahead and try this so you'll have the key lime. Or we can do some of
So does it matter 2 of 2?
I think I'm going to do 3.
Should we use this one?
Oh, I'm going to put it right into here.
Oh, okay.
So now we're going to go ahead and juice up some of these limes. And
they seem harder too, don't they?
The little ones are just a whole lot easier too. But these aren't in, the season is kind of past.
Right.
So we're going to try and get some of that
okay.
lovely. About a third of a cup we need.
Do you like those, you know, you can get the Mexican, they have a squeezer thing.
They
citrus
do.
juicer,
Citrus
but it, you know, it flips, and I love those.
You know, I haven't tried one, so they're really good.
We don't have one, right, you know.
I have all kinds of things in my kitchen, and
I
don't. I do this. I get my fingers
So I like to
all
have
wet.
Everything squeezed out, you know.
know.
Second to actually sucking on it, but you know, I want it all out. So, but anyway.
So you feel like you've used every bit of it.
Exactly, absolutely. We don't like to waste, you know. We like to.
Yeah, that's something that's really interesting to me, is how much of our food we actually waste.
Exactly. That's why I got a whole bunch of chickens. I bought myself some chickens.
Did you really?
Chicks, actually, yes.
Awesome. Yeah, my friend works for a place in Salt Lake, and they reclaim food, if you would. They get food that would otherwise go to waste.
Wow.
And she's the number she quotes is 50% of what we raise, or what we would have used, we throw away. So 50% of the food in America, it just goes to the trash. And think about how many people that could feed. That's kind of a little bit frightening that we are very wasteful in that way.
Well, I've started a compost as well. I think everyone would like to know in Spanish Fork. It's fabulous.
Yes.
I'm quite impressed with myself, yes.
That, and if you have chickens, the ultimate recycling. I love that.
Right.
You take all the dinner scraps out, and then they turn them into eggs.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Good eggs. Organic eggs.
Organic eggs.
Brown eggs.
Oh, mine are green.
No way. You got Aracanas?
I got Aracanas.
Oh, I'm getting some of those. I want Aracanas. I got, what did I get?
Okay.
Really good ones.
I think we have enough here. We're going to go ahead and put that in there.
So that was about how much, by the way? We've got 4 eggs,
we got
4 egg
about
yolks in here. And how many limes?
Looks like
How many
1.5.
limes do we have?
That was nice big limes.
4 yolks and what? How many? 1.5, 2. We got 2 limes in.
No,
squeezed.
here's the other half.
Oh, there's the half. So it's 1.5.
1.5 limes.
1.5. And
So you can go ahead and cut little slices off and put on the side of your drink. Now you can see that just adding that lime changed the consistency of the milk. And it will actually change the consistency of the egg, which is an interesting way to think about cooking, because the protein changes. When you make a ceviche, they just put limes on the raw fish, and the raw fish changes texture. The proteins change.
It does.
So that's sort of what you can see now. This has become thick.
Wow.
But despite that, if you'd like to hand me that crust, we're still going to put
homemade crust that we just made earlier.
We're going to go ahead and stick this in the oven for a few minutes.
Oh, wow.
And then we're going to put something really fun on top.
Scrape the bottom. See, we're not wasting.
No,
Remember, we're talking all about waste.
We can do it that way, or we can just look out the bowl, right?
Oh.
This is why you have small children. The other way.
That amount of eggs? No. Don't try
good.
this, okay?
Okay, so we can see that that's not quite full, but we're going to go ahead. We've heated our oven to 375, and we're going to stick this in here.
For how long would that be for?
It's in there for 15 minutes.
15 minutes we're going to time this for.
During that time, we're
minutes.
going to keep looking at this
Now this, what was in here? We had a can of sweet condensed milk and evaporated, and 1 can of evaporated milk. Now, if you could just bring it over here.
Bring it over, and you can kind of see it's beginning to turn a little bit darker. This will continue to go, and this is going to caramelize a little bit, and then we're going to add some egg yolks to it.
Right.
Now, when I've made it
smells good.
Before today, I go ahead and use a heavy cream rather than the sweetened condensed milk, because it has a flavor of a can when you use the sweetened condensed milk. So I do like that. Right. So it's just a 1-to-1. You can go ahead and for a cup of cream, you put in a cup of sugar, and then you just let it cook down and.
Question for you.
Yes.
If you're lactose intolerant, can you actually,
change we are going to talk about that.
Oh, look at that. How would I know? Great minds think alike, right?
That was wait.
What's that? What's that what you say? The sigh of a woman, a limon, what is it?
Suspiro de limeña. Okay, so now we're going to talk about our egg whites. Okay. So we've brought some egg whites here.
Beautiful egg whites.
But everybody does meringue a little bit differently, but today we're gonna try the meringue the way my father used to do it, the way that you can make it stay nice and high.
Nice. And doesn't collapse.
And doesn't collapse. And also, we kind of worry about having that raw egg white taste. Sometimes when you bite into a lemon meringue pie, it's really foamy. Yeah. And kind of like it's done maybe on the top. You got that crispy hard thing, and then you got a lot of foam. So we're going to try and make this a little bit different. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by...
excited.
We're going to... And I brought extra egg whites even.
Oh, fantastic.
So we're going to start by...
Look at how clear that is. I've got to take this off. Look at that.
We'll put this guy over here. And if you would plug that in for me.
I will plug in her KitchenAid.
I know, because none of us really want to do this by hand. But that's how they're originally done in the French shops. You know, in the castles, they'd have the kitchen boy whipping the egg whites. And if you do that, you never have to worry about the calories in your dessert. Really? If you actually do this by hand, you will have burned them off enough.
Oh, that's right. That is very true.
It's really interesting how in our generation we just don't burn that many calories. I was looking somewhere, and they were talking about if you were one of the colonizers that came to America and you were cutting down trees and clearing land, you're burning 6,000 calories a day.
No way. Wow.
On average,
That's like 6 hours of Zumba,
I know, right?
It does that.
I'm going to sneak over here and grab that. Okay, here's our nice whip, and we are going to, again, make a lot of noise.
That is interesting, though,
Yeah, we do a lot. We're a lot more sedentary, and they say...
You have to pay to go and exercise now.
Sitting is the new smoking, and you probably heard that before.
Oh.
Sitting is the new smoking.
I have not heard that one.
Yes, that's what we do now.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a little piece of our lime in there we're going to take out.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and pour these egg whites in here, and then I think on that tray you'll see some cream of tartar.
Cream of tartar, there it is. Fabulous. And you bought this at Macy's too? You can buy all of these wonderful ingredients at Macy's.
I bought everything at Macy's today.
I love Macy's, really.
And let's go ahead and open
They treat us well. Prices are great. It's fabulous. So how much do you put in?
I have 4 in here, and then we'll put about a quarter cup. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this started if it will turn on.
Okay, let us just try. Mechanical problems right now. Okay, try it now. There we go. Okay, good. Is that good?
Yeah. Okay.
That looks great. How many seconds, how many minutes would you say that was?
Oh, it was probably about 2-3 minutes in this on high.
Look
but
at
you
that.
can see how stiff it is. But it's not going to stay that way. Egg whites would deflate.
Right.
So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to let this sit here for a minute.
Do you know what, at school they always said that if it peaks, you know, when you drop it,
yeah, you got this.
then you know you got it.
You got the hard peaks. But we're going to do one step beyond that. There we go.
Okay.
If you want to hand me our bottle, we're going to have a little bit of fun here. So
Utah's best friend, champagne. Sorry.
Okay, and then that and the sugar.
Apple cider.
You want to hand me the sugar? The two best friends.
Yes, we
You're
love
supposed to open
sugar and apple cider. Can buy this at Macy's too.
My friends bought a house today, and this is how they celebrated. They went and bought it.
Oh, see, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay. And the even better thing is, we're going to go ahead and pour that in there.
Wow.
Okay.
After eating this, you really won't need to eat for a while. You know?
Oh no, this is one of those seldom
gives you all the
eaten kind
nutrients
of
in it.
things. Yeah, it's funny how we do desserts now. We used to have a dessert was a treat.
It was a treat.
Something you
still
had
is
occasionally.
A treat. Yes.
But it seems like now, yeah, I teach. I don't teach. I'm do this Scout merit badges. And I do cooking, which is a lot of fun, except for when I go through and I look at their chart, every single meal has a place for dessert. Do I really need dessert with breakfast?
Oh, of course.
Evidently, every some of their meal plans has dessert for every single meal.
Fabulous.
People really, there's a reason that we're getting a little larger.
Well, it can depend on what you interpret dessert to be. See, a banana can be a dessert, can it not? It's a fruit. You can have pineapple.
Because they have a place for that in the other places.
Oh, okay,
so that argument
that
won't
fly.
Go.
Oh, okay, wow.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and try and get this open. There should be a can opener right there. Let's see if we can be really good and figure this out.
Now, let's not shake this, okay? I can do this because I drink a lot of this.
Oh, okay. I don't.
Kind of the alternative. So.
All right, so we're going to go ahead, and this is just going to give our egg whites a little bit of flavor.
Wow.
So we're going to put that in there.
Look at that.
For fun. And
Beautiful.
we also added just a touch of salt into that.
Okay.
So that
and the salt does what? Does it? And how much salt did you add?
Do you know, when I was a little girl, I was going through my grandmother's National Geographics, and she had them back to when they first started.
Wow.
And there was this wonderful ad, and it said, "The best cooks use salt." And I thought,
for everything.
Okay, that was kind of a given by that time.
Right.
But yes, it's just the best cooks use salt.
Okay, love it. And you're a great cook, I have to admit.
So I use salt.
That's right.
I learned that, and I was a 6-year-old perusing those old geographics with Teddy Roosevelt hunting in the national forests and finding teddy bears. Okay, so we're going to let that go ahead and cook down. And while we're doing that, we're going to look at this. It's getting darker. We want it to stay pretty smooth, but you can start seeing more of a color change.
Oh, yes. The smell
So it's getting
fabulous.
Yeah, it's getting more and more brown because this is essentially a caramelized milk.
So what are we going to add to this once it's at?
We are going to add egg yolks, and that's going to be what makes it into a pudding. So, and that's also going to thicken it. So we don't want it so thick
that you can't.
Because if you add in the egg yolks, then it's going to be so stiff you can't do anything with it.
Okay.
Because you still want to remember it's a sigh. It's not.
Sigh.
You didn't pass out.
Right.
So we're going to cook this one too for a little bit until that's reduced by about half. So we can probably go to commercial for a moment and wait for that too.
So no, but why do we need it before we do anything? But why do we need that to cook down?
We want it to cook down so it gets almost to a hard crack stage.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to cook down and get that sugar really thick in there, you know.
Okay.
You started with pretty much a little bit more than a 1-to-1. We put in a cup of water and a 1/4 cup, a 1/2 cup, I think I got a little excited, of the apple. And then we're going to boil that down until you have that, when you take a spoon and you let it come out, you're going to form a thread.
Wow.
Okay, so it's not quite hard crack, it's just going to make a nice thread.
So
then
you
as we
added
pour
sugar
that
too,
into
didn't you?
here, Well, that's what a simple syrup is.
Okay.
Then when you add this to here, you're going to hear a really fun sound. It's going to go ahead and cook that as it goes with the egg yolks. And it's also going to keep it so it's nice and fluffy. It's going to be kind of like somewhere between a divinity and a marshmallow. Wow. So, but not that thick. So it's going to still stay as a side.
What a process. That's fantastic. And all of this is then going to go onto the...
That'll go onto the pie, and it will also go on top of these, which I already have made in the fridge, so we don't have to wait any longer.
Okay, so all right.
So we will be serving as soon as this goes ahead, and it's going to boil down. And like I say, I have a spoon here, and you can see right now it just drips off.
Right.
But when we can see it starting to form a thread, we'll know it's about ready. Can you see that tiny? You probably can't see that.
Yes. Do that lower so that...
Oh, if I hold it lower, my fingers are going to burn. I'll hold it way over here. All right.
Okay.
So we have to wait till that forms a thread.
Oh, like almost like a gooey, you know, like okra. You know, when you pick up a boiled okra, I know it's not the same. I'm just giving similarities of a thread.
My mom used to always drop it into cold water, and then you could tell whether or not it was soft ball, because it would create a little ball in the bottom of the cold water.
Right.
Or if it went hard crack, it creates a little hard ball, and it will crack. If you put it on the counter, you can crack it, so it's like hard candy.
So this kind of thing, though, dessert really is a special treat. I mean, really, nowadays I work, and you know, it would have to be a weekend thing to do this. This is it's a real treat, isn't it?
It really is.
Pouring your love into this.
And I think we don't appreciate it because we have so much sugar in our lives. And if you think, what would it be like if we didn't have that? I know I was reading, not reading. I was reading. An anthropology about a text, and this man had gone out to get dessert for his family. Now, if you live in the jungle and you don't have any of the modern processes, how do you go get dessert?
Look for a bush, and it's got berries on it, and it maybe have a coconut or something.
He looked for a beehive.
Ah,
and then he got the beehive, and he got stung like crazy.
Oh.
And he says, "This is what I do because I love my family."
Oh man,
so that is beautiful.
Right? Love
He's
that.
Like, it stings. I can make this, and I don't have a single bee sting.
No, but that is really beautiful, because
he was willing to do that. He says, "This is good because I love my family."
Because now our spouses can just go to the store. They can come to Macy's and buy you your dessert. They don't go hunting. They don't go looking and searching, and it's fantastic.
I had my grandson today, and we were over at UVU, and I said, if you'll be really good today, I'll go by and get you an ice cream. And I made him traverse the whole length of the campus and back, and he was like, "I'm so tired." And I said, "You won't be tired when we walk into the ice cream store." And he says, "We got to go to the drive up."
Okay, and we are going to go to commercials right now on that note, as our syrup is boiling, and then we'll come back and we'll show you how we're going to put everything together before we have a tasting session as well. So stay tuned. Welcome back, and this is Macy's Cooking Corner with lovely Teresa, and we are now putting everything together, right?
And so we're going to pull two different desserts together.
Yes.
We're going to do the this is a key lime pie. It's a classic. This recipe was actually on the inside of the carnation can for many years.
Wow.
I remember eating it when I was a small child.
She looks so good. All these experiences she's had. Can you believe that?
It's been a while.
Okay.
Anyway, they don't print it there anymore, which is kind of sad. They've added the 15 minutes that you're supposed to put it in the oven. It used to be just eat it. So now they're worried about your eggs.
Okay. Okay, so is this done now with the thread?
Yeah,
look at that. Oh my goodness.
There's actually going to be a lovely thread form here.
Fabulous. So do I start this and then whilst I
see that? See that?
Oh yeah. Oh,
we're set.
Yes, indeed.
Go ahead.
Yes, indeed. Now
Now
turn this on.
Yeah, turn it on and keep it going high, high, high. We're gonna go ahead and put this in, and you can hear it's kind of like popcorn.
Wow.
It's a little bit hotter than I usually get it.
Okay. Can you not? That's it. There you go. That good? Well, I could feel the heat there coming from that.
Yeah, and so now that they've reached a room temperature,
Look at
you
that.
can see they're going to
There's
come
the-
up and be nice and high. I could beat those a little bit longer, but we'll
Perfect
call this
meringue.
good there. The nice thing is it's going to stay for such a long time. Let's go ahead and take a spoon,
Okay.
and we'll go ahead and put this on this pie.
Can I move this?
Mhm.
Do we need this
We
again?
can put that out of the way. Yes, we're actually going to need this because, as a surprise to you,
Surprise to me.
I'm only going to put part of the meringue on here.
Uh-huh.
And then I brought
Aw.
coconut milk. Did
No
you know
way.
you can whip coconut milk like it was whipped cream?
No way. No, I didn't know that
Now,
actually.
if you get it cold,
Uh-huh.
first of all, when you go out and you find a can, you want to hand me that can of coconut milk?
Yes. Oh, that's nice and cold.
Yeah, I put it
frozen.
nice and cold.
Wow.
But if you shake it, you don't hear water. Hear that?
No, I don't.
It's solid, and that cream in there will whip up just like a whipping cream.
Oh.
And I knew you'd like that.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank
so we're going to put
You can do
some
half.
dollars on there. We could go ahead and pipe this on here,
Huh? Okay.
and you can kind of see how you could make that be really pretty.
Let's turn this.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and turn it into...
Don't forget to always turn off the stove when you're making syrup because
And you can see that's going to come up nice
yeah.
and pretty. Now I can make it prettier. Anyway,
Nice.
so you get that idea. Now,
I
the
do.
other thing is we have this guy, and he is doing really well. We can see that's coming along. Now, in order to finish him off,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to set that aside over there.
Okay.
And we're going to set this aside for just a moment because we're going to use that again in a minute. In
This
order
one?
to, yeah,
Okay. Now,
And
what are you
then-
looking for?
I need 2 bowls.
2 bowls. Here we
There
go.
you
We
go.
got this
That one and the measuring cup.
Okay.
We put, yeah. I'll hand that to you.
All right.
Okay, so what we're going to do
got
again, and the
this.
eggs. So
Some
in
more
order to go
eggs.
ahead and turn, this is kind of like a pudding. So in order to make a good pudding out of it, again, we're going to separate our eggs. Put those in there. And this time, we need 5 yolks.
5 yolks.
Well, we're not going to worry about using those anyway, so
Okay.
that'll be scrambled eggs in the morning. Oh, you know
Oh.
what?
Yes.
I think the word quiche actually means, whatever you've got left in the fridge.
Oh, I used to love quiche.
I love quiche,
Oh my
and I
goodness,
just use
finished
whatever I
quiche.
have. If you have
Yeah.
leftover vegetables of any kind, you
Put
just
them all
put them
together.
in there.
Yes. Love quiche. Well, that's what we
So-
should make next time. I think everyone would love
A quiche.
a quiche. Yes.
Oh, and there's so many different kinds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I could show you how to make.
That is a way to throw an eggshell. I bet you didn't know that.
There we go. We're gonna go ahead and
I'm
do
sure
that
there's
again.
luck in that department. All right.
I'm really doing a bad job here, but usually
Great,
these work.
you know. So how many eggs do we use for
We're
this
gonna do
last
5.
part of the dessert?
This is the last one.
Wow. I'm going to go home with a smile on my face.
Okay, and then
There
you
we
have a
go.
fork over there.
We certainly do. Here we
Okay,
go.
now one of the things you have, this is very hot,
Right.
and these would turn to scrambled eggs if I put it right in there.
They certainly would.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a thing called tempering. where we put just a little bit of that in there while we're stirring it.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, we're going to keep stirring that. You can see it's starting to thicken, but it's not going to clump.
It's not curdling.
Yeah, so.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You're using that as an armrest.
I was using it to keep it there. I can't hold this thing.
Oh, do you want it back?
It's okay. It's just going to look ugly on the camera.
Let me take this away.
No, I just can't lift anything with that arm. We'll get this going. I'll add a little bit at a time, and then we'll keep stirring. So you can see it's starting to, this is now actually warm to the touch. And as it does that, then we go ahead and start going the other way.
And put the whole thing in.
And we don't do it all at once. We do it in a thin ribbon as we stir. And that's called tempering.
Right.
And then, just in case, even though that was boiling, so that's going to bring it up to a temperature that's going to cook the egg.
Right.
But we're not going to have scrambled eggs, because the scrambled egg pudding is just...
No.
Yeah, the texture is all wrong.
But, yeah.
But you can see it started to go thick now. I'll set that aside.
Fabulous.
And, well, actually, now that we've used it like that, we'll just use it back this way. The other thing that we'll do when you're doing this is to pour it back through a fine mesh strainer. Just to make sure that if there are any lumps, that you've gotten them out of there, and then it's nice and smooth.
Wow.
And you can see there's a few, even though we were careful to temper it. You want to get those all out of there.
So when would you'd usually have this at night, lunchtime? When would the people usually drink this?
It isn't a drink. It's a
the
dessert.
pudding. Oh,
the
dessert.
pudding.
Sorry.
And this
That's
is
right.
for something special, a special occasion.
A special occasion. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. When you want to feel good.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you want to go ahead and do something a little better than just a regular Sunday dessert or whatever. But it's still quite common. Now remember, this is the royal dessert.
Okay.
So think about it that way. You're going to have this when you're having royalty over.
Okay. Remember that.
So if your
well, I
husband
am
is,
royalty actually.
Or if your husband is
did,
royalty,
yes.
then you can just say, "I made you the royal dessert."
Why can't I make it for myself?
You could do that.
I believe in me, you know. So, okay. So now that is done.
So now that's how you see that there. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside, and we're going to do that magic of television thing where we just pull one out of the fridge. And I'm going to do that.
Fabulous. Oh, I think.
And then we're going to bring our meringue back.
Look at that.
Now,
beautiful.
I have to laugh because this dessert says it serves 4.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
you would have a sugar shock if you did that. I think this is a little too much in each glass. I would probably go less. I did 12 servings at it the other day, and it was just about perfect. But we're going to do a little bit more. You want to hand me the meringue, and we'll go ahead and put those on there.
Absolutely. Oh, you put that on top.
That goes on top of here.
Wow.
So we're going to do
amazing.
Just a little bit of that. And then if you'll hand me the cinnamon. Oh, I'm going to make a mess here.
Got a little.
I actually have some spoons for this.
Oh, did you want? Oh, lovely.
If you want to give me 2. And the cinnamon.
Which one? What kind? Teaspoon?
No. What you're going to do.
Love this little. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I do. I really like. I like
that makes it
pots.
easy to go ahead and
okay, let's take
get it on there, and then you're just going to put a little bit on the top. If you want to do it with a sifter, you can, but I think just between your fingers is really good. So you can kind of get that idea. And yes, if I had more time, I'd make these perfect, but we'll go ahead and do that.
They look perfect. I mean, they are perfect.
They're kind of.
I just adore these shots. I mean, these glasses. Sorry, I do. I don't know why I say that. You know, you watch a lot of movies.
Well, and it kind of helps with portion control if you have a shot for your dessert.
In fact, you know what? On these glasses, it says cancer wellness. So, you know, it's a hint to you that. It's a preventative measure, isn't it?
They were left over from something that we did, so I ended up with a whole bunch of them.
Oh, wow.
Like a case.
Back to my childhood.
So there we go. We can go ahead and just put a little bit of cinnamon on top.
Beautiful.
Give it a little bit of that, and those are ready to go.
Oh, no way. And what
And
about
then we could go ahead and
got to
finish
this.
that off.
Absolutely.
But
and then
like I say, we promised to do that. So if you want to grab out that can and open it up, we'll start looking at
Oh, this one?
a can of coconut milk.
Okay.
I'll set those over here.
Oh. Is
Now, in
yours
order
going deep like this?
I don't know.
Or does it
That's
go?
not mine.
Oh, here
It's
we go.
one I borrowed.
Here we go.
It belongs to the studio.
Uh-oh. Now, you see, at home I do have an electric one, so.
Now, with
Going
egg whites,
back to basics, yes.
if you get any
Mm-hmm.
Fat in here, they won't whip up nearly as high. So you cannot have a little bit of egg yolk. You can't have an oily dish. Never beat them in a plastic dish because there could be a little bit of oil on there.
Oh.
Conversely, with the oily one,
Uh-huh.
it needs to be cold. The egg whites are warm. Conversely, this needs to be cold. And you can go ahead and put this in here. So we are going to take and rinse this off. And then we're going to go ahead and put that, grab the other container, and we'll put that in there.
Okay.
You can see it. See how thick that is?
Absolutely. I mean,
You can
it
just
doesn't
see
move.
Yeah, it's just nice and hard.
Being in the fridge, it's just solid.
Okay. Well, I'm going to rinse
Fabulous.
this and rinse out our other container, and we will be
So
ready
that
to
okay.
whip this up and see how it turns out. Are you ready?
Okay. Welcome back to the last part of Macy's Cooking Corner. We are Teresa, lovely Teresa has made a lovely meringue, and now she's going to do some with coconut milk. So if you can't do it with the dulce leche style.
If you can't use that milk, you're lactose intolerant, you're having any trouble. Well, we're going to go ahead and pull this out. We can see
You can use coconut cream. Is it coconut cream or coconut milk?
coconut milk. If you use the
Oh.
coconut cream, it already has sugar in it,
Right.
and it won't whip up.
Oh. So this
What we want to do is pull this out here. We don't want the runny bits. We want the hard bits in here.
Okay.
And so we're going to lift those out.
Can you use other, so can you use almond milk if you do
Well, it
the
doesn't
same
go
way?
hard like this. I have not ever whipped almond milk. I think you would
Right.
have to add quite a bit of sugar to get it thick enough.
Right.
But this you'll see
But I love coconut, so this is great.
Oh yeah, this will whip up nicely. So this would be like a sweetened. So
Heavenly
we
thing.
left some of it in there because it's still runny.
Okay.
We can probably get a little bit more out of it. So okay, go ahead and we're
Okay.
gonna whip that, and as we do, we're gonna add just a little bit of sugar.
Okay. Now let's pour that in. Are you gonna pour that in?
Give it a minute.
Fantastic.
We should go just a little faster.
Like that. No. When you need to turn it on, right?
We gotta wait for a second.
Almost done.
It's decided not to do it the way I want it to.
Oh, they don't need to know.
Oh, here it goes. Takes a minute. get all spotty. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Wow. So how long did that go for?
Not
the
quite
coconut?
long enough, but we're going to go ahead and call
But
it good enough.
usually, what would it be?
It would
What
usually come up pretty, it takes usually about maybe even 10 minutes.
And how would you know if it was
Because it'll
just
be
right?
fluffy. You can see this one is a little bit runnier than I would like. And if you want to go ahead and let's get a piece of your pie out here.
Okay.
Should we cut a piece and put it onto a plate?
Oh,
And that's actually still warm, so I hope
okay.
you have your knife.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and we'll cut a little piece of pie.
Let's take this away so that all our viewers can see what you're doing.
We'll do that. And we're just going to take a sliver right here. And since it's just about the size of that knife, it's not going to come out pretty. They tell me that my other, that always the first one is the one that you throw away because you can't, it's never going to turn out perfectly. So we'll call that pie right there. And then you're going to have your whipped topping on top.
Oh.
And there you go. You can go ahead and try that. So we have the two different desserts. You have your Susprino de Lemenia and your classic key lime pie.
I am a woman. What is it again?
The sigh of a Lima woman, or the sigh of a woman.
Oh, sigh of a woman.
But you have to taste it and tell us just how sweet it is.
Okay,
we had people try it in the office and in the studio here, and they said that that tastes like a sigh.
It does taste like a sigh. Which word? So what would I start first normally?
You start with this one because it's less sweet. Always move from your less sweet to your more sweet. Otherwise, it just tastes,
Wow,
not
here we go.
See if that works.
Wow.
Can you get the coconut on there? That coconut really pops, doesn't it? I love it. But sometimes you want it to not pop, like you want it to just kind of blend in, like, it's really good to see for that.
The key lime is yummy. Okay, let's try this one. I'm going to put this down because.
Yeah, you have to dig down into that one.
This is so good. You never know. I might just drop the plate, right? My mouth is watering. It's fabulous. You really should be here, here in the show.
I really love how that just kind of comes up into peaks. There you go.
Okay.
Now it's going to stick to you.
Whoa.
Is that like a sigh?
Oh, more, yes.
That's a sigh of a happy woman, not the sigh of an unhappy woman.
Very happy woman. Very, very, wow.
All right.
Delicious.
So,
you have really reached parts of me that I thought were asleep, okay? Forget the sigh, but, but thank you so much, Teresa, for coming in today and sharing with us bringing us some sweetness into our lives. And we are here every Thursday. And we look forward to seeing you all. And thank you again. And we look forward to
thanks to our studio audience that came. We hope more people will come and eat our food.
That's right. And taste this delicious. What was it that you made? So this one is?
Suspiro de Lemenia. Suspiro. This sounds like a sigh.
de la Menia.
De la Menia.
De la Menia. And this one?
Is pretty much a key lime pie.
A key lime pie. Okay.
But, that was pie limón clásico.
There you go. Thank you again.
Right.
And we look forward to seeing you soon.